Shalom Lakem, Kal Yeshura'al. How's your peace, Israel? Welcome back to another video. And we're here, straight after work. You know, the word must come out. And the topic at hand is God's covenant with humanity. Okay, we're going to go through quite a few scriptures here, so bear with me on this one. But we're going to pick it up in the book of Genesis, Barashayath, chapter 9, verse 8. And it reads on this wise. The context of the story is God's covenant with Noah after the flood. And it reads, says, Then God said to Noah and to his sons with him, I now establish my covenant with you and with your descendants after you, and with every living creature that was with you, the birds, the livestock, and all the wild animals, all those that came out of the ark with you. Every living creature on earth, I establish my covenant with you. Never again will all life be destroyed by the waters of a flood. Never again will there be a flood to destroy the earth. And God said, This is the sign of the covenant I am making between me and you, and every living creature with you, a covenant for all generations to come. I have set my rainbow in the clouds, and it will be the sign of the covenant between me and the earth. Whenever I bring clouds over the earth, and the rainbow appears in the clouds, I will remember my covenant between me and you, and all the creatures of every kind. Never again will the waters become a flood to destroy all life. Whenever the rainbow appears in the clouds, I will see it and remember the everlasting covenant between God and all living creatures of every kind on the earth. So God said to Noah, This is the sign of the covenant I have established between me and all life on earth. Right, we're dealing with God's covenant with humanity, right? And that was God's covenant with Noah after the flood. We're going to go into the book of Genesis, Barashayath, chapter 17, pick it up at verse 1. We're dealing with the Abrahamic covenant with the sign of circumcision. Okay? And it reads on this wise. When Abraham was 99 years old, the Lord appeared to him and said, Oh, I am God Almighty. Walk before me faithfully and be blameless. Then I will make my covenant between me and you, and will greatly increase your numbers. Abraham fell face down, and God said to him, As for me, this is my covenant with you. You will be the father of many nations. No longer will you be called Abraham. Your name will be Abraham, for I have made you a father of many nations. I will make you very fruitful. I will make nations of you, and kings will come from you. I will establish my covenant as an everlasting covenant between me and you, and your descendants after you, for the generations to come, to be your God and the God of your descendants after you. The whole land of Canaan, where you now reside as a foreigner, I will give as an everlasting possession to you, and your descendants after you, and I'll be their God. Then God said to Abraham, As for you, you must keep my covenant, you and your descendants after you, for the generations to come. This is my covenant with you and your descendants after you, the covenant you are to keep. Every male among you shall be circumcised. You are to undergo circumcision, and it will be a sign of the covenant between me and you. For the generations to come, every male among you who is 8 days old must be circumcised, including those born in your household or born with money for a foreigner. Those who are not your offspring, whether born in your household or bought with your money, they must be circumcised. My covenant in your flesh is to be an everlasting covenant. An uncircumcised male who is not being circumcised in the flesh will be cut off from his people. He has broken my covenant. Okay? We're dealing with God's covenant of humanity, and that was the Abrahamic covenant with the sign of circumcision. We're now going to segue into the book of Exodus, chapter 19. Okay? And we're going to read from verse 5 to verse 6. Okay? And it reads, it says, Now if you obey me fully and keep my covenant, then out of all nations you will be my treasured possession. Although the whole earth is mine, you will be for me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words you are to speak to the Israelites. Alright, that was the Mosaic covenant at Mount Sinai. Okay, now we're going to pick up in the book of Jubilees. Okay, we're in chapter 6, verse 15, right? And it reads, it says, and he gave to Noah and his sons a sign that there should not again be a flood on the earth. A second, I'll read it again. And he gave to Noah and his sons a sign that there should not again be a flood on the earth. He set his bow in the cloud for a sign of the eternal covenant, that there should not again be a flood on the earth to destroy it at all the days of the earth. For this reason it is ordained and written on the heavenly tablets that they should celebrate the Feast of Weeks in this month once a year, to renew the covenant every year. As this whole festival was celebrated in heaven from the day of creation till the days of Noah, 26 jubilees and 5 weeks of years. And Noah and his sons observed it for 7 jubilees and 1 week of years, till the day of Noah's death. And from the day of Noah's death his sons did away with it until the days of Abraham. They ate blood. But Abraham observed it, and Isaac and Jacob and his children observed it up to thy days. And in thy days the children of Israel forgot it until ye celebrated it anew on this mountain. And do thou command the children of Israel to observe this festival in all their generations for a commandment unto them. 1 day in a year in this month they shall celebrate this festival. The festival, sorry. For it is the feast of weeks and the feast of first fruits. This feast is twofold and a double nature, according to what is written and engraven concerning it. Celebrate it. For I have written in the book of the first law, in that which I have written for thee, that thou shouldest celebrate it in its season, 1 day in a year. And I explained to thee its sacrifices, that the children of Israel should remember and should celebrate it throughout their generations, in this month, 1 day in every year. And on the new moon of the first month, on the new moon of the fourth month, and the new moon of the seventh month, and on the new moon of the 10th month, are the days of remembrance, and the days of the seasons in the 4 divisions of years. These are written and ordained as the testimony forever. Okay, and Noah ordained them for himself as feasts for the generations forever, so that they have become thereby a memorial unto him. And on the new moon of the first month he was bidden to make for himself an ark. And on that day the earth became dry, and opened the ark and saw the earth. Okay, that was dealing with the renewal of the covenant with Noah and the stipulation of feast days. Okay, now we're going to go and segue into the testament of the 12 patriarchs, specifically dealing with Levi, chapter 6. We're going to pick up in verse 1. Right, and it reads on this wise: The copy of the words of Levi, what things he appointed to his sons, according to all that they should do, and what things should befall them until the day of the judgment. He was in sound health when he could call them to him, for it had been shown to him that he should die. And when they were gathered together, he said to them, Levi was conceived in Haran and born there. And after that I came with my father to Shechem. And I was young and 20 years of age when with Simeon I wrought the vengeance of Hamor for our sister Dinah. And when we were feeding our flocks in Abel Maol, a spirit of understanding of the Lord came upon me, and I saw all men corrupting their ways, their way, and that unrighteousness had built to itself walls, and iniquity sat upon towers. I grieved for the race of men, and prayed to the Lord that I might be saved. Then there fell upon me a sleep, and behold, a high mountain. This is the mountain of Aspis in Abel Maol. And behold, the heavens were open, and an angel of God said to me, Levi, enter. And I entered from the first heaven into the second, and I saw there water hanging between one and the other. And I saw a third heaven far brighter than those two, for there was in it a height without bounds. And I said to the angel, Wherefore is this? And the angel said to me, Marvel not at these, for you shall see four other heavens brighter than these, and without comparison. When you shall have ascended there, when you shall ascend there, because you shall stand near the Lord, and shall be his minister, and shall declare his mysteries to men, and shall proclaim concerning him who shall redeem Israel. And by you and Judah shall the Lord appear among men, saving in them every race of men. And of the portion of the Lord shall be your life, and he shall be your field and vineyard, fruits, gold, and silver. Here then concerning the seven heavens, the lowest is for this cause more gloomy, in that it is near all the iniquities of men. The second has fire, snow, ice, ready for the day of the ordinance of the Lord, in the righteous judgment of God. In it are all the spirits of retributions for vengeance on the wicked. In the third are the hosts of the armies which are ordained for the day of judgment, to work vengeance on the spirits of the deceit, and Belial. And the heavens up to the fourth above, these are holy, for in the highest of all dwells the great glory in the holy of holies, far above all holiness. In the heaven next to it are the angels of the presence of the Lord, who minister and make propitiation to the Lord for all the ignorances of the righteous, and they offer to the Lord a reasonable sweet smelling savour, and a bloodless offering. And in the heaven below, this are the angels who bear the answers to the angels of the presence of the Lord. And in the heaven next to this are thrones, dominions, in which hymns are ever offered to God. Therefore, whenever the Lord looks upon us, all of us are shaken. Yea, the heavens and the earth and the abyss are shaken at the presence of his majesty. But the sons of men, regarding not these things, sin and provoke the Most High. Now therefore know that the Lord will execute judgment upon the sons of men, because the rocks are rent, and the sun quenched, and the waters dried up, and the fire trembled, and all creation troubled, and the invisible spirits melting away, and the grave spoiled, excuse me, and the grave spoiled in the suffering of the Most High. Men unbelieving will abide in their iniquity, therefore with punishment shall they be judged. Therefore the Most High has heard your prayer to separate you from iniquity, that you should become to him a son and a servant and a minister of his presence. A shining light of knowledge shall you shine in Jacob, as the sun shall you be to the seed of Israel. And a blessing shall be given to you, and to all your seed, until the Lord shall visit all the heathen in the tender mercies of his Son, even forever. Nevertheless, your son shall lay hands upon him to crucify him, and therefore have counsel and understanding been given you, that you might instruct your sons concerning him, because he that blesses him shall be blessed, but they that curse him shall perish. An angel opened to me the gates of heaven, and I saw the holy temple, and the Most High upon a throne of glory. And he said to me, Levi, I have given you the blessings of the priesthood until that I shall come and sojourn in the midst of Israel. Then the angel brought me to the earth, and gave me a shield and a sword, and said, Work vengeance on Shechem because of Dinah, and I will be with you, because the Lord has sent me. And I destroyed at that time the sons of Hamor, as it is written in the heavenly tablets. And I said to him, I pray you, O Lord, tell me your name, and I will call upon you in the day of tribulation. And he said, I am the angel who intercedes for the race of Israel, that he smite them not utterly, because every evil spirit attacks it. And after these things I was as it were awaked, and blessed the Most High, an angel that intercedes for the race of Israel, and for all righteousness. And when I came to my father, I found a brazen shield, wherefore also the name of the mountain Aspis, which is near Gebal, on the right side of Abilah. And I kept these words in my heart. I took counsel with my father and with Reuben my brother, that he should bid the sons of Hamor that they should be circumcised, for I was jealous because of the abomination which they had wrought in Israel. And I slew Shechem at first, and Simeon slew Hamor. And after this our brethren came and smote the city with the edge of the sword, and our father heard it and was angry, and he was grieved in that they had received the circumcision, and after that been put to death. And in his blessings he dealt otherwise with us, for we sinned because we had done this thing against his will, and he was sick upon that day. But I knew that the sentence of God was for evil upon Shechem, for they sought to do to Sarah as they did to Dinah our sister, and the Lord hindered them. And so they persecuted Abraham our father when he was a stranger, and they harried his flocks when they were multiplied upon him. And Jebleh his servant, born in his house, they shamefully handled, and thus they did to all strangers, taking away their wives by force, and the men themselves driving into exile. But the wrath of the Lord came suddenly upon them to the utmost. Now, that was Levi's vision of God's promise of the priesthood to his descendants. Okay. Actually, no, we haven't finished. I would say the next verse would explain it more. It says, "And there I saw a thing again, even as former, after we had passed 70 days. And I saw 7 men in white raiment, saying to me, Arise, put on the robe of the priesthood, and the crown of righteousness, and the breastplate of understanding, and the garment of truth, and the diadem of faith, and the tiara of miracle, and the ephod of prophecy. And each one of them, breaking each of these things, put them on me, and said, From henceforth become a priest of the Lord, you and your seed forever. And the first anointed me with holy oil, and gave to me the rod of judgment. The second washed me with pure water, and fed me with bread and wine, the most holy things, and clad me with a holy and a glorious robe. The third clothed me with a linen vestment like to an ephod. The fourth put round me a gird like purple. The fifth gave to me a branch of rich olive. The sixth placed a crown on my head. The seventh placed on my head a diadem of priesthood, and filled my hands with incense, so that I served as a priest to the Lord. And they said to me, Levi, your seed shall be divided into 3 branches for a sign of glory of the Lord who is to come. And first shall he be that has been faithful. No portion shall be greater than his. The second shall be in the priesthood. The third, a new name, shall be called over him, because he shall arise as a king from Judah, and shall establish a new priesthood, after the fashion of the Gentiles, to all the Gentiles. And his appearance shall be unutterable, as of an exalted prophet of the seed of Abraham, our father. Every desirable thing in Israel shall be for you, and for your seed, and everything fair to look upon shall you eat. And the table of the Lord shall your seed apportion, and some of them shall be high priests, judges, and scribes, for by their mouth shall the holy place be guarded. And when I awoke, I understood that this thing was like the former, and I hid this also in my heart, and told it to no man upon the earth." Okay, that was dealing with the Levi's vision of God's promise of the priesthood to his descendants. Okay, we're going to now segue into the book of Enoch. We're dealing with First Enoch chapter 15, picking up at verse 3, the covenant between God and the watchers which they violated. Okay, we're in chapter 15. Okay, and we're going to pick it up. It says verse 3, but let's maybe start at verse 1. The topic of hand is we're dealing with God's covenant with humanity. Okay, it says, "And he answered and said to me, and I heard this voice, Fear not, Enoch, thou righteous man and scribe of righteousness, approach hither and hear my voice. Go say to the watchers of heaven who have sent thee to intercede for them, you shall intercede for men, and not men for you. Wherefore have ye left the high, holy, and eternal heaven, and lain with women, and defiled yourself with the daughters of men, and taken to yourselves wives, and done like the children of the earth, and begotten giants and sons. Though ye were holy, spiritual, and living the eternal life, ye have defiled yourselves with the blood of women, and have begotten with the blood of flesh. And as the children of men have lusted after flesh and blood, as those also do who die and perish. Therefore have I given them wives also, that they might impregnate them, impregnate them, and beget children by them, that thus nothing might be wanting to them on the earth. But you are spiritual, living the eternal life, and immortal for all generations of the world. And therefore I have not appointed wives for as the spiritual ones of heaven, in heaven is their dwelling. And now the giants who are produced from the spirits of flesh shall be called evil spirits upon the earth. And on the earth shall be their dwelling. Evil spirits have proceeded from their bodies, because they are born from men, and the holy watchers is their beginning and primal origin. They shall eat evil spirits on earth, and evil spirits shall they be called. As for the spirits of heaven, in heaven shall be their dwelling. But as for the spirits of the earth, which were born on the earth, and on the earth shall be their dwelling. And the spirits of the giants afflict, oppress, destroy, attack, do battle, and work destruction on the earth, and cause trouble. They take no food, but nevertheless hunger and thirst, and cause offences. These spirits shall rise up against the children of men and against the women, because they proceeded from them. Okay, we're going to keep going. It says, from the days of the slaughter and destruction and the death of the giants, from the souls of whose flesh the spirits have gone forth, shall destroy without incurring judgment. Thus shall they destroy until the day of consummation, the great judgment, in which the age shall be consummated over the watchers and the godless. Yea, shall be wholly consummated. And now as to the watchers who have sent thee to intercede for them, who have been aforetime in heaven. You have been in heaven, but all the mysteries had not yet been revealed to you, and you knew worthless ones, and these in the hardness of your hearts you have made known to the women, and through these mysteries women and men work much evil on earth. Say to them, therefore, you have no peace. Okay, this is where. Oh, right. I think I've read too much. We're supposed to just read chapter 15. I went to the next chapter. So we basically, in a nutshell, we dealt with the covenant between God and the Watchers, which they violated. Okay. Um, Now we're going to go to Second Baruch, and we're dealing with the renewal of the covenant in the Messianic age. Okay, chapter 77, verse 12. Okay, it says, but do this for us, your people. Write also to our brothers in Babylon a letter of doctrine, and roll a roll of hope, so that you might strengthen them as before you go away from us. For the shepherds of Israel have perished, and the lamps which gave light are extinguished, and the fountains which from which we used to drink have withheld their streams. Now we have been left in the darkness and in the thick forest and in the aridness of the desert. And I answered and said to them, shepherds and lamps and fountains came from the Torah, and when we go away the Torah will abide. If you therefore look upon the Torah and are intent upon wisdom, then the lamp will not be wanting, and the shepherd will not give away, and the fountain will not dry up. Okay? That's dealing with the renewal of the covenant in the Messianic age. Okay? And we're going to finish it up in 4th Ezra, right? Chapter 9, verse 10 to 13. Right? And it reads on this wise: for many such as this did not acknowledge me in their lifetime, although they received my benefits, and as many that scorned and loathed my Torah, while they still had freedom, and did not understand but despised me while an opportunity of repentance was still open to them. The same must in torment acknowledge me after death. And therefore do not continue to be curious as to how they kept head chesedless. Let's actually see this word. I don't want to butcher it because I don't know. doesn't seem to be an actual word. Oh, it's actually it's actually Hebrew. Oh, that's why. Could be seedless. How the seedless, or I don't know, how the wicked shall be punished, but inquire how the righteous shall be delivered, those to whom the age belongs, and for whose sake the age was created and when. So that was fourth Ezra. That was dealing with the reflections on those who abandoned God's covenant. Okay. So I only hope the reader and listen to this word will be blessed by what we read. We were looking at God's covenant with humanity, and we saw a plethora of different events where God has got into communication with some form of fashion of someone on this earth, and He's established some form of covenant, some form of contracts, right? That individual and the people that are with that individual must live by. You see, and this is and that's these particular times they've been perpetual ones. They've a lot of them have been everlasting, and some of the scriptures we saw are segments throughout the timeline where such people were being used to bring another selection of people back onto the same covenant that the Father had established. So may Yahweh bless you, may Yahweh keep you, may Yahweh cause His face to shine upon you, may Yahweh be gracious to you, may Yahweh lift up His countenance upon you, and may Yahweh grant you everlasting peace in Yeshua HaMashiach's name I pray. Selah.